call. Hey, Marcus.
Hi, Crystal. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. On behalf of Lennox and Parker, we just want to congratulate you on being you all getting a second season already.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
already. That's a huge thing. Were you surprised that it happened so quickly after the show being on for just a couple of months, being guaranteed a second season?
Yeah, definitely extremely surprised. I'd been a part of, when we were on Blackish. I remember we'd wrap a season and wouldn't hear for a little bit before we knew we'd got another one. So knowing that we'd gotten season two like a couple months into the show was
Yeah.
extremely shocking and super exciting. And I think it's just a testament to how much people, love Blue Bloods. They love Boston Blue.
Mhm.
And the legacy, the faith, the tradition, the family, those things that we bring to the table. And it's just so much fun to get to play this character and be a part of this show and this cast.
Yeah. It's interesting because you came from a show. Of course, we watched you grow up on on Blackish, and you were. I mean, obviously, the focus was family, and I feel like your character Jonah in Boston Blue is very much about family. I mean, Jonah is in a family that is kind of like he has a lot to prove, just like he did, just like your character Andre did on Blackish. Can you talk about the differences maybe in the family dynamic? With Jonah, like he comes from this, family that's a part of the law and justice, and there's a lot. But what are the differences in that dynamic than the family that you were a part of on Blackish?
Um, I feel like, with it's a great question. I honestly have never thought about that or connected those dots. Those very closely related. I think Jonah is he's obviously a police officer and dealing with being in law enforcement and his entire
Mhm,
family being a part of the judicial system is a lot of pressure to uphold.
mhm,
Obviously, Andre Jr. was dealing with Dre being an exec, Bo being a doctor,
mhm.
which is also a ton of pressure. I think the difference is, Jonah is going into the direct field that his family has been a part of for years, and Junior tried that for a little bit, went to college, bounced all around. Jonah is very stout in his devotion of what he wants to do, and
Yeah.
he almost needs to prove himself that he's not just like a nepo baby who's been handed this position and is actually good at the job. And I think what he brings to the table versus his family is he's really boots on the ground. Like he's interacting with people and he wants to show what a police officer should be when it comes to dealing with the community and communicating with people and helping people and not particularly having some sort of idea of being I mean, he ends up being a vigilante in a way, but to avenge his father, which I think is kind of a valiant task to go off on. But yeah, I think he's community first is really where he's focused, whereas I feel like his family is a lot bigger picture when it comes to politics and things like that. But
Mhm.
he wants to be a good example. I think Jonah has a lot more of a head on his shoulder than
Yeah.
Junior did. Whereas Junior, he might have had more compassion. So a
Okay.
lot of
That's
differences. And yeah,
That's good. You mentioned him becoming a bit of a vigilante. I know you can't give us any spoilers,
yeah, yeah.
but what actually happened and what he did or maybe did not do. But can you talk to us a little bit about, what kind of happened in Jonah over the last few, since the series started? Because he started kind of, it seemed like he felt kind of untouchable, right?
Yeah.
His family's encased in, all this bravado, and obviously with what happened to his father, he realized that he was very vulnerable, and we see him kind of change from this very cocky and confident kid to this, like you said, more angry and vigilante type energy. What kind of happened in his psyche to kind of make this snap that we see,
Yeah.
that we're getting ready to figure out exactly what happened on, I think, Friday?
Yeah. I think uh he's got a lot of unanswered questions. I mean, obviously his father has been murdered, and I think that would eat away at anyone. What happened? Why me? Why him? Um, and he wants justice. Obviously, justice hasn't been fulfilled, and he feels like the judicial system is too slow, and that he wants to handle things on a personal level, which is not the right way to go about things at all. But I think we're seeing a glimpse into his psyche of he has his own version of justice in his head of what the right thing is, and he kind of isn't afraid to enact that, which is not good. And he's kind of going off the deep end and doing his own thing, and it's detrimental to his family. It's going to be detrimental to him, and he's going to learn that, and he's going to have to learn it the hard way. So I think he kind of has this warped vision of self almost, and a warped vision of what the right thing is.
Mhm.
I mean, shoot, I was reading the script though. I was like, go get him. Like, come on. But then, thinking about it and actually living through it, I was like, this is not right. This is not going to end well. And I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see on Friday what happens.
Yeah. Well, I know we don't have much time, but I do want to ask you. I think you were a part of being a part of Blackish, which was such a pivotal show, and a lot of young people grew up, watching that show. Kind of feel like, to me, it felt like a reincarnation of like what my generation watched with the Cosby Show. Very
Mm-hmm.
much positive when we saw you and your cast siblings grow up. What do you think the legacy? What do you think your legacy is so far? On television, because you definitely are a part of Black history in that way. And then coming from that showed family, to being a part of a police family, which also, there's a lot of like controversy between the Black community and the role of police officers. So what do you see right now as Marcus's legacy, and what do you want to be your legacy, as it relates to Black history?
I hope it's a positive one. Like you said, Blackish was very much so a positive beacon in the Black community when it came to representation on television.
Mhm.
I feel like we were part of like a renaissance of Black television coming back, because obviously we were huge in the '90s, we were popping early 2000s, and all of a sudden things disappeared for some reason.
Mhm.
And I'm just so honored to have had that. And Jonah, um, and being a part of Boston Blue was really exciting for me because, like you said, it was weird for me to be like, oh, I've just done this amazing part, like a Black history and being a part of Blackish, and then I'm gonna go over here and play a cop. Like this is crazy.
Right.
And that's why through watching Blue Bloods and talking to some of my family members who love the show and why they love the show, I was like, oh, it's faith, family, tradition, these things that we all connect on, which I thought was beautiful.
Mhm.
And I thought Jonah as a character is really cool because, like I said, he's boots on the ground. He's communicating with the community, and we have some cool storylines coming up with that
Yeah.
that get to show him, being a positive example in the Black community and hopefully handling things the right way. Like I said, this was not the right way to handle things, obviously, and it happens all too often.
Yeah.
Um, but I think him as a character, his heart is in the right place, and we'll get to see that reflected in later episodes throughout the season. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I'm excited. I definitely believe that you're going to have the same type of success with this show. I know that your character Jonah is already a favorite, specifically, as we've seen this transformation of him kind of like
yeah.
coming into his own. So, congratulations on that. And we will definitely be
Thank you so
tuned
much.
in on Friday.
Appreciate you, Crystal. Thank you.
Absolutely. Happy Black History Month, Marcus.
Happy Black History Month, and sorry for being a little bit tardy.
Oh, no worries. We appreciate it. And again, congratulations
Thank you. Take care.
so much.